Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotional for you. I'm going to start with another reading from Sarah Arthur's One Year Daily Grind, and this one is about Halloween since we just celebrated this past week. I'm at my parents' house in Michigan for a visit, and tonight is Halloween. We're taking turns answering the door. It's my turn. I get up, and the little guy on the front porch looks to be about 7 or 8 years old, dressed up like a Jedi Knight, I think. As I open the door, he simply holds out his bag without a word. I grin and say, "Is this a trick or a treat?" He gives me a look like I'm crazy and replies in a droll tone, "What else would it be?" I laugh. "Well, you're supposed to say trick or treat, you know? That's what you do at Halloween." "Oh," he says sarcastically, "I've never heard that before." The little twit is still holding out his bag, so I put a few pieces of candy in, fewer than normal, and say, "Well, there you go, happy Halloween," and I close the door. My parents and I have a good laugh about it, but I'm also a bit miffed. Of course I know if someone is standing on the front porch on October 31st in costume holding out a bag, they've got to be looking for a treat. What else would it be? And yet, there's part of me that likes to be asked. I don't just want to be a candy dispenser, I want to interact with the kids, have a conversation, enjoy their presence. I wonder if this is how God thinks of prayer. Sure, he knows all our needs before we ask. I mean, we're standing at the threshold of heaven with our hands held out. What else would we be doing? And yet, I think there's a part of God that likes being asked. He doesn't want to be some sort of cosmic wish dispenser. He wants to interact with us, have a conversation, enjoy our presence. When was the last time I really asked? Saints, how would you answer that question? Thinking about your prayer life, when was the last time you went to God, not with an expectation of receiving, not with an expectation of being filled, not even maybe with that need for something? When was the last time you simply went to God to interact with God, to have a conversation, to be in God's presence? I think it's so easy for us to turn prayer into that transactional mode of communication, where the only reason we speak to God is because we want to get something back from God. I know that I do that. I know that for me, a lot of the time, I forget or I neglect prayer when there isn't something immediate on my mind like that. Is that the same for you? There are so many reasons that we have conversations with the people that we love, with the people that we're close to. There are so many ways that we converse and interact and communicate. We can talk to people about what we like or what we don't like. We can talk about what we're planning for the future. We can talk about what scares us. We can talk about what makes us happy. We can talk about what we have enjoyed or what we're thankful for. There are so many reasons that we talk to each other. Now, couldn't we do the same with God? Prayer doesn't have to be just, "God, gimme, gimme, gimme." It can be, "God, here's what I'm thankful for. God, here's what I'm thinking about tomorrow. God, here's what was good for me today. God, I appreciate who you are and what you do in my life. God, I'd like to get to know more about you." What are some of the things that you might want to focus on in your prayer life? It could be simply setting up a more regular time to pray. You know, when we don't do that, it is pretty easy for us to neglect prayer and only do it when we have a need. But when we do it on a regular basis, when we do it with some intentionality, then maybe we're going to have more of a conversation with God because we know that we've set aside time to do that. Saints, think about what your prayer life is and how it might be different, how it might grow closer to that connection time that God probably wants for it to be. That's your devotional this week, and I hope it's helpful. Hope it's worth thinking about. I hope you are doing well and staying healthy. I will be praying for you. If you'll please keep praying for me, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, Saints.